And I agree. Finding the strength to prospect is the key. Is the key.
Absolutely.
But today I'm going to share some stuff with you guys that I'm going to share the stuff with you. Hopefully, it'll be clear to you that prospecting is nothing but a game, that everything that we do here and in preparation is preparation for that meeting with a client where, or prospect or any lead with a way, in a way where you are not trying to guarantee the close, but you're preparing to guarantee it. You're going in to just, it's like in baseball. You want to hit that bat, you want to hit that. There's a practice time and then there's a play time. So you want to be doing the right thing. And what is the right thing? If you guys think about this, right? Think about our process. What is our process? Our process is that we prospect, we set appointments, we present, and then we close. Remember, we prospect people, right? Not dogs and cats, although you can prospect people with dogs and cats. And we set appointments. It's not an appointment until it has three things. It's got to have a date, time, and location, right? DTL, you got to have the detail, right? That's when you book the appointment. Until without the detail, right, you don't have it. Date, time, and location, right? You've got to present. You got to have a winning presentation. Does presentation matter? Some people say yes, some say no. It matters. Mostly it matters that you're ready with something. It's better to open your mouth and say something than wait for 3 years until you perfected your presentation. I can tell you that. Guys, closing is all about implementing. Another word for closing is implementing. You are implementing solutions. You implementing problems. Solution to the problem. You're a problem solver, right? And if you repeat it enough times, Brad went over this in the morning, for those of you that were on a Kickstarter, when he said just 500 times 5, so if you think about this, like every time he talked about it, it's like, I remember when Troy Girard told me that he went for Mission 500 and he was already on track at 364 or something like that. And he goes, Dimitri, it's just that I didn't even have to get to 500. I was already on track with what I was working on. So a lot of times, if you're focused on a number, you'll be there before you know it. And that's the key, okay? And so, guys, do you notice right under the present, it says FIN? We don't do a presentation that does not end with a FIN number because, the FIN number, and you've got to do at the very least, the minimum number, which is the monthly FIN, is the most important number that they must know, because you might be having this amazing appointment that you think went well, and that could be the only appointment that you're having with them. Can you imagine what it's like to be preparing and so on, and you're so ready to go, and you didn't do this part, right? So it's very important that you do that. Now, whenever you're curious, so this is our boards, right? Whenever you're curious, if you're not on our boards, make sure you send me an email. We'll add you to it. But our F&A process is very, very simple. Super simple, right? And it's the 4-step F&A to financial independence and beyond. So remember, we calculate the FIN number. Now, when we do the 4-step F&A, as you know, we do a very basic calculation. There's an official number name for this calculation. And it's, everybody learns this in LLQP, guys. Okay. And it's the number that you need per month multiplied by 12 divided by the interest rate that you expect to receive when you are living off that money. Okay. And that's the capital drawdown method, straight from LQP book. The only thing it doesn't account for, taxation and inflation, okay? So you could up it by inflation, or you can change the rate, so you can play with those. The moment I do this, within minutes, the client has an idea, right? The client knows, okay, I need $600,000. Don't worry that it's not a full FIN number with exact calculation. It gives them something to aim for, okay? That's, by the way, the same calculation you use for calculating life insurance, which is the very last number, income protection number. You can do it with a drawdown method. You can do it in multiples, right? I need 50,000 a year times 12 or 18. All depends on for how long will you need that money, right? And then, of course, there's the dime method, right? Calculating based on needs in a little more details. And in between, there are really important numbers, right? We go over the monthly fin, right? And what's the monthly fin, guys? It's how much money do they need to put away every month so that they can reach their fin number. If I'm meeting with a client and I don't know their monthly fin, it's like, what am I going to talk to them about? I need to make sure that they're going after something specific, some goal, right? If we are not aiming for the goal, if we are just saying, imagine somebody comes to me and says, well, show me what you can do. And this happens, guys. And I'm like, absolutely. What does financial independence mean to you? And then they answer that question. And then I say, well, what's important about money to you? Well, blah, blah, blah. And they come back to financial independence. I just want to be financially. They don't say those words a lot of times, but it comes down to that, right? And so once we're clear, your number one priority is to lead them to the fin number, right? Once we got to the fin number, we can do all sorts of things. What if somebody says, I don't care if I'm financially free? I'm like, so right now, if you were receiving $5,000 a month, the number that you talked about, that wouldn't excite you without having to work? And then they say, no, I love working. Oh, all the way to 95? Well, not 95. I'm like, well, then let's work on it. What, 75, 85, 65? And that's how you get to, okay, so you're right. I got to be kind of thinking ahead of this, right? And so now that we know the duration, now we can calculate the monthly fin. Remember, monthly fin always depends on how long do we have until they absolutely can't take it anymore and they want to quit their job. I'm like, when people say I want to work, I'm like, that's awesome. What if you got sick? Wouldn't it be cool if you didn't have to work? Well, crap, like I'd like that to happen yesterday. I'm like, well, I don't have a yesterday plan, but I have tomorrow plan. And I have a really good solid plan for you, okay? And so, and finally, the fully funded amount, so critical. This is how you get assets, right? You know, so when somebody says, okay, I'll invest $10,000 or I'll invest $5,000, I'll play with something. Some of you guys were asking me some of these questions over the weekend, okay? And my comment to that usually is, I want to get to the fully funded amount, because if I calculated that if they just put away $28,000 right now, they wouldn't have to put any more money on a monthly basis, or it's $28,000 fully funded means what? It means that you already know what you need to start with, the beginning balance, right? And so once we know the beginning balance, that we could start with 30 grand, whether it's with zero contribution or the contribution they're comfortable with, I'm like, you're set, you're fully funded, right? If it's with zero, or you're fully set. You're not fully funded, but you're fully set. If you had 30 grand plus you put 20, you will be on track for that age. And at that point, they say, well, I got 27 grand sitting in RBC. I don't know what that thing is doing there, but it sounds like this plan will be better. I'm like, it will be. Let me show you how, right? When you do the 4-step FNA, of course, you lead this and you follow it up with mobile FNA. And you get more and more accuracy, the closer you get to the full FNA, right? And it's not that it's not accurate. It's like everything. I'm going to go on vacation to Barcelona, right? Somebody says. That's them announcing and everybody's excited. Nobody goes and says, I am flying from so-and-so to New York, and then from there I'm going to go to this, and then I'm going to arrive. And you're like, oh, you're saying that you're going to go on vacation to Barcelona? When people announce a short, very short announcement, they say, I'm going to go to Barcelona. So you, within 5 to 10 minutes, are producing a fin number, monthly fin, fully funded amount, an IPN, and you already know, do they have a need for insurance? All of this gets clear, right? And so within 10 to 15 minutes, you already know that now it's, okay, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to implement your investment first, insurance? What's more critical right now, right? You know? And off you go. So remember, this is the process that gets you started. Now, I wanted to share this quick thing that I thought was really cool. And this quick thing, I refer to this as the efficient investing, okay? Efficient investing, okay? I'm going to show you an example that I thought was really cool to look at. So if I want you to just kind of, you don't need to do the calculations yourself right now. Just get this concept, okay? And I can share the super simple stuff, nothing fancy, right? But look at this. I want you guys to envision, okay? Because a lot of times I hear this concept of people saying, have you heard this concept? RSP of the devil. RSP does not work. I'm going to be taxed to death with RSP, right? Well, they're right and they're wrong. Guys, the reason why they're right and they're wrong is it all depends on implementation. You get that? So if people implement it right, the right things come together. So if you look at this example, we have somebody at the age of 30, and they put 18% of their income into RSP. So we're assuming 60,000 a year income, and that means they're going to put about $10,000. Okay, you guys are with me? So we're going to put $10,000 a year, right? We're going to put $10,000 a year. You guys know that when you put $10,000 a year into RSP, it reduces your taxable income, right? That means that if you pay taxes, you're going to get a what? Refund. And you're probably going to get, and we did the calculation for that. So I used the actual tool to calculate this. It's not in here. But I went into the income calculator and I calculated that, right? Many of you guys probably use this. Some of you maybe don't. I highly recommend using that. I use this one. There's so many great tools, but I use the one from TurboTax, right? From Intuit, right? And so that's a really great one, super simple to use, right? And it kind of tells you what the brackets are. So I can easily calculate what I need very fast. Remember, every time we say any word that includes the word tax, what are we supposed to say? I am not a tax accountant or tax attorney, although some of you guys are. Some of you guys are, and you're licensed to do it. I am not. I'm just going to give you the overview, but I always advise that you should consult your tax person. Well, my tax person is me. I do it on TurboTax. I'm like, okay. Well, I'm just letting you know that I'm just going to give you an example. Remember, things that we are not licensed for, we give them some ideas, but beyond that, we ask them to, fully look into that. So somebody that's got 10,000 that they're putting into RSP would normally get $2,700 back. Okay, just on average, 2,500. Do you guys agree? Have you guys seen that? That you'll get somewhere around that amount. I've seen a bit more depending on the income, but on a $60,000 income, it's about that. And so the idea here is that if we took this 10,000 for every year for 25 years, that's 250. You guys agree? Mm-hmm. It's 250. The benefit or the refund amount, the total is 64,800. You guys agree that? So that's just this times 24 years. You don't get it the first year. Refund comes the second year, right? After the contribution. So net contribution, 185, right? So you actually get, we're just using 9%, not the crazy 14, 18% that we see in our funds. I'm just going to use 9, sometimes even less than 9, just for fun, okay? And so, but with 9% to age 55 from 30, that's 25 years, they're going to have 980,000. So far, you guys are following me, right? Everybody's following me. You guys are seeing where these numbers are coming from. So now that we grew, and all of this is right here, you see, 10,000 at 9% for 25 years, 980. You need to be able to, like this, calculate this when you're with a client. Like this, you need to, this is one calculator that will make you a ton of money, okay? So you have 980,000. Next 25 years, you withdraw from a RIFs, a 60,000 a year, which means you're going to pay some taxes, right? When you draw from RIF, you're going to pay some taxes. So you're going to withdraw $1.5 million, right? And the net amount is 1125. You guys get why? Why is it lower? Because you're going to be taxed on it. Okay, you're going to be taxed on it. And then by the time, and you can, of course, withdraw it for 25 years, so now you're 80. You guys are getting the math, 55 plus 25, we get to 80. Now you got 3.3 million. It's crazy. You withdrew 1.5, you enjoyed 1.1, the rest government enjoyed. And then you've got 3.3 still at the age of 80. Of course, assuming that it was still kind of on average growing at 9. We can lower that to see what happens if it's 7 or 8 and so on, okay? I'm just giving you 9. Now, what happens as you go forward? What happens from 80 to 100 is you need to withdraw way more. So we are withdrawing 200,000 a year. This is the ridiculous part. No matter how many times I do this math, I'm like, how's this possible? So we withdraw money from this for 20 years, right? We withdraw money. You guys are with me? We withdraw and withdraw money. And then there's taxation, of course, right? And then we still got this number. And no matter how you slice it, you're like, damn it, I'm still going to have to pay high taxes, right? So look at this. This same amount compared to the TFSA, if you did the same thing with TFSA, so here's RSP, you do all this, you have $8.4 million. You do the same thing in TFSA, you get $8.4 million with withdrawals, but it's all tax-free, right? You guys are with me?
Yeah.
Okay. And you understand, of course, TFSA contributions do depend. This is based on a family, right? Do depend on contribution limits and all of that. You guys are with me? So you've got all of those. So keep your questions to the end, okay? So on the surface, we get to the same amount. On a surface, RSP is horrible because here you got to pay $4 million in taxes. You ever wondered how much you pay in taxes? You just take this number, you go here, and you say in BC, if you're in BC, and you go in and you say other income, right? Because we're not going to do capital gains or losses because it's RSP. We're going to say other income, and you put that amount, right? And it's just shocking, right? You ever do this? You ever do this for fun? Right? What is it like to make this kind of income? This is what you'd have to pay. And you're like, that's not fair. The reality is you got a lot of money through this process, a lot of money. All you put in really, right? If you think about this, is only 250,000 from you, right? But net contribution is 185. Why is it 185? Because the government gave you money back. Now, here's the big, fat difference. Here's the big difference. What if you took the 2,700? Jan, I can't believe this. I've done these numbers over and over, and I just can't believe how important it is to use RSP properly. If you take the refund and you waste it, yeah, TFSA would have been better. I mean, because all you do is you just wasted $64,000. So if you take 64 and you add to this, because you wasted it, it never grew for you, it's a waste. But this is ridiculous. 64 grand, 64,000 turns into 239. You don't need to withdraw anything from it. You're using your RSPs, you're paying your taxes. So you don't mind paying taxes because you're trying to deregister more and more of your RSP through RIF, right? So now you're not withdrawing anything from here. It's $2.2 million. You leave it for another 20 years, you got $13 million. Like, it's just crazy. You know, when I look at this and I'm like, wait a second. With case number one, by the time I'm 80, I got like 5.5 million bucks. With this case, it's this. But I heard the TFSA is better. Yes, if you misuse the refund, what the government created the program for. So when people say to RSPs of the Dell and so on, it's because people are using it incorrectly. You guys get that? People are utilizing it without understanding what the ramifications are for the future. Okay. You know, when I look at these numbers, Jan, can you unmute for a moment? What do you think about this when you see that?
Well, I mean, it blows me away every time I look at this kind of math. And I love it when people say, I don't like RSPs. And I go, why? Have you done the arithmetic? Right? And then they just do arithmetic for people because arithmetic is the language, you know, of the world. Everybody talks arithmetic, right? It's the final referee.
I love what you just said. Final referee is the math. Like, the moment you do it, you're like, wait a second.
Right.
It's like me helping a client this was just a couple of weeks ago, a few clients we helped this way. And we showed them a case where pulling money from their CPP actually makes more sense right now, as long as they invest it. Makes more sense right now They have no need for it, but as long as they invest it, yes, there's some tax consequence, but it's low compared to the benefit you get and what you have to lose. A lot of people think that, oh, when everybody in my family dies, I collect their CPP. No, you don't. You know, ain't that funny? Guys, I tell you, this is a powerful tool. I wanted to give you this example. Was there a question, Jess, in regards to this or a comment? Just very quickly.
I just want to know if you know what the median average age is of a Canadian when they start withdrawing RRSP, because for me personally, it's not going to be 80. So is 80, like, what's the average number? Around
So we
70?
calculated, we did this case with 55. What if you start withdrawing for 55? Most people draw from 60 or 65.
65, yeah.
Most people are somewhere around there. Let's put it this way. Most people don't have any money left by 65, okay? They've spent it all. And unfortunately, a lot of good people used it to preserve the house because they were about to lose it, or to survive from a medical condition that wasn't covered, right? That's where insurance comes in. Or survive from some legal case that they didn't protect themselves from because they didn't have the right solution. Jen's going to talk about fun stuff with us today. You know, and so we are trying to show them all these things so they can protect themselves the right way every stage and milestone of their life, right? And so you could probably look up what on average people do, but I find from my experience, 60 to 65 is when people start drawing RSPs, okay? That's when people say I'm retiring, they're like, how much can I use? I've had somebody that had only 4,000 left, 4,000. Let's put it this way. They only had 4,000. It's not they even had it left. And they wanted to do a full assessment on how long will 4,000 last. Can they receive from this 4,000? I said that you've got 7 years left to your retirement and you have 4,000 in. You're so behind. Your FIN number is this. Your monthly should be this. You're receiving $4,400. This wasn't like massive income, but you only spent $2,500. I don't know where the rest of the money goes. Let's go and identify. And the lady started working with me and increasing her pack. She goes, what can I do if I add $350 a month? And she got RSP loan at the time. The crazy rates right now, right, Jen? For those RSP loans. But you know what was great? The rate wasn't as much of a concern because what she loved was she got the refund. She was able to use that, reinvest that. And because she hates credit sitting there, like, and balance is sitting there, she's just like, oh, I'm ready. I'm like, where did you find $11,000 all of a sudden? Well, you know, I don't spend that much and we haven't talked for 6 months. So, you know, I saved up and plus I made some money here and there. I'm like, I love this. This is great. Would she have done that if we didn't force her with this RSP loan? Probably not. Probably wouldn't be. I just had somebody that just paid out $18,000 towards the RSP loan. It's not really because of the interest, although that's the 10.5% is really brutal right now, okay? People are on variable rate. But they're like, you know, we always save money and they always invest some more, right? And so your job is to do the F&A, you guys, so that you start with the fundamental F&A so that you can get them thinking. What are you getting them to think about, guys? Their future, right? Can you show this to the client? Nothing here is not compliant. Nothing. Everything's compliant. You know, you just can't leave it with them. But you can show them. You can say, look, I did this calculation, blah, 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 right? And if you ever print this out and you're in the front of the client, I'll terminate you. So in other words, it doesn't matter. It's just that you can only leave compliant materials with the client. So what you do is you write on it. Say, you know, I can't send you this, but I'll send you another copy that's really good. And you send them how money works. That shows all of this just in a different way. Okay. It's got all the calculations. I'll send you something that's got even more calculations. Okay. And that's it. So a real example of this is the F&A. When you do the financial needs analysis and we produce that, we can send that to them. Okay. That answers one of the questions you guys asked. Okay. Does that make sense? So what did we start with, guys? We started with simplicity. So these calculations, all of them are here. Just so that you guys, if you wonder, is this for real? Could this be real? Look, this is the withdrawal of 200. This is crazy. This is crazy that you could talk to somebody and say, look, what if I told you if you put away for 25 years, 18% of your income, just for 25 years, you'll be able to draw same income for another 25 years after that. And later on, when the inflation is crazy, you're going to be able to withdraw 200,000 a year. You know what the crazy part is? This is all real. The problem is people don't do the right things and spend their money. And our job is to keep them focused on their financial independence. Everyone wants financial independence. Every one of you right now here are here for financial independence. There's nothing else. You're here for financial independence, right? And how are you going to do this? You're going to stay consistent long enough and apply enough volume. What else? Some really much needed patience. How many times did I tell you guys about this gentleman that rescheduled me? It's been 7 times now. It was 5 until Friday. The Friday morning got rescheduled to Friday evening. I didn't show on Friday evening right away. I waited until he got there. He calls me. I'm like, oh, I'm on my way. Okay, I'll see you soon. You guys get that? Before that, I was like, okay, I'll meet you here. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not traveling. Who's going to pay for my gas, right? We're going to write a life app and we're going to do some investments. So I'm going to make that up, okay? I'm going to get him paid. I'm going to charge him 7%, okay, on his investment. I'm just joking. Can't charge more than 5. All right. So this first part was all about remembering that we have a very simple business, you guys. First of all, guys, give yourself like a clap. Like, this is great. Look at you. All of you guys are here. I know there's a bunch of people that didn't show, but there's a bunch of you that are here. This is really cool. I want to introduce Jan Schwieger. Guys, what a great guy. This is the guy that gives more than he receives. I'm sure he'll tell you that he receives, but I just love him and his wife for what they are and what they stand for in this business. And honestly, personally, we've met them a number of times, where you just feel it, right? So I want you guys to really prepare that, he could be doing something else right now on this day off. And he said, I'll be there. I've asked him to meet with you guys because number one is I respect him deeply for his knowledge, for his experience, his achievements. But I'm going to stop sharing the screen so you can see this wonderful guy. But the one thing that I really appreciate is his sense of optimism. No matter what happens anywhere, whether it's in our team chat, our VP chat, or some other, like he's always, I don't think I've ever seen him negative. In the entire time I've been here for 14 years, right? I have never seen him negative. So there's beyond what he's going to tell you right now, and he's got some really cool stuff to share with you. Guys, I want you guys to get this. People come into this bit, and I'd love it if you could take a minute or two to just share where you came from, Jan. Like, what was your history? What did you do for work before? How you got prospected? And whether you were like the overnight success or whether it took something, because I was not. People are always like looking for these amazing solutions, guys. Oh, like they're, Moibet, this lady doesn't even speak English, from Venezuela, is at 765,000 in 12-month rolling. When we saw her, Jen, when we were at the convention, the Virginia Carter Award winner, she was at 500,000. She's at 765. She believes she'll go over $1 million by next year, for sure in 2 years. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is crazy. But you know what's crazy? How accessible Primerica is. That you could have it fast or you could take it slow and you could still succeed here. And that's what I love about our business. So I want to give the rest of the time to you, Jen, and then we'll take the last few minutes to wrap up, okay?
Okay, that's great. And Dimitri and Francis, again, always had their arms open, ready for the next event. Look at how much stuff that Dimitri and Francis do for the hierarchy, not just for their own base. And, sometimes that's lost in the base, so it's nice to have someone else come in and appreciate your leadership for what they've contributed. And I mean, I think you've been doing this, for 5 years, these types of calls and inviting everybody in the hierarchy to come.
Yeah.
And so Chieko said, "Hey, what's this thing?" I said, "You should go to that, Chieko. There's some amazing information there, I'm certain." So I'm glad you're all here tonight. And if I can do anything to help you increase your income, who knows? Because look, Dimitri says I wasn't negative, but when I'm negative, you won't see me. I'm gonna go hide in a closet and not tell anybody that I'm negative. Maybe Cheryl, but even I shouldn't even tell Cheryl that I'm negative. So optimistically, look at everything that I'm about to tell you like it's true and it's going to happen. And the reason is because it happened to us. Like, I knew nothing about Edge. Put up your hand if you know nothing about Edge, really. And it's okay to put up your hand. Now, you might know a little bit. That's going to get you advanced. But if you know nothing, hopefully tonight, this will motivate you enough, like Dimitri said with that person, to get them to come to an appointment so that you can get in front of them. And if Dimitri and Francis can't be there, I'll show up, right? I don't need an override. I don't care. I just want everybody to win.
I'm going to remember
Okay.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm serious, man. If you need me, I will be the expert on the fly on the wall if you need me, because I think this is a area that people don't really understand. So not a lot of people play in this little zone. And thank goodness for that, because I'm playing in this zone and it paid me 28 grand in the last 12 months. Just the edge.
Hey, baby, if you can get on the call, go ahead, get on the call.
Yeah, get on the call, baby. We want you on the call for sure. So,
Love it.
so 28 grand in the last 12 months, but the mutual funds and the insurance and the other stuff that paid me, I didn't even calculate that. That's just edge. The trips, the bonus, it's crazy. So if you can get it into your head just enough to go out and prospect, I'll share my screen quick and I'll blast through some of the slides. So get ready to take pictures. And then if you have questions at the end and you want to stick around, I'll stay on here as long as you want. By the way, just so you guys know, it's my 23rd anniversary tonight. And Cheryl said I could come out and play with you.
Woohoo!
Just so you know.
Look
how
at that.
important this is.
Yours is today. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is great. I didn't know this. I would have been way more considerate. I'm sorry I didn't know.
Oh, no. I could have said no.
You could have.
Right? But this is critical that the team gets this, because if we can improve everybody's cash flow, I can recruit more people. That's one of the, I'm selfishly motivated to do that. Right? And if I can say, hey, not just Jan made the money, but Noah or Anand or somebody brand new just prospected, got people in front of an expert, which is what we're supposed to do anyway. Right? You like, we're averaging $1,600 a month in Edge without doing anything right now. Passive. And guess how many groups we have, you guys? Ready?
And 10.
1,500 a month. Woo! That is amazing. Like, so I'm excited about the comp. And every time I study the comp, it tells me what I should do here. So this is not what I focus on all day long. This is just a handy little side gig in Edge that I found that's paying me a lot and get me on trips in front of millionaires. I won 4 trips because of this product. 4 in a row. I've been to Colorado, I've been to Bahamas, I've been to Florida, and I've been to Hawaii. And Brad Gerard and I were the only ones there, well, and spouses and family, on 3 of those. So think about that for a second. The hierarchy lacks income because the hierarchy doesn't understand how to make income effectively. It doesn't mean that you don't want to make income. It just means that you're just not sure how to do this. So you freeze up and you don't. So let's just go down that
presenter view or just this multi-slide view. We're just seeing.
Well, I think I'm going to go multi-slide just because it's quicker. Okay. So I could go through point by point, but I'll talk all night, and you guys will be here till 10. We'll be putting on our pajamas, and I'll be divorced. So let me just go to the next slide. So understand that Edge is super easy to prospect. Whether you're client prospecting or recruiting, you can use Edge as a lure. There is an informational recruiting video for self-employed business owners that you could use. Ask Dimitri, I'm sure he knows about that. 80% of businesses are under 10 employees. Don't shoot for like Overweighty Foods. There's 10,000 employees there. They're not, it's going to take you 10 years to get in their front door. Glenn Williams said, use the 5 sale rule on a product that you don't understand. That's a great play here. If you get to 5, that's $750 a month for an RVP, passive forever. Compensations in the bonuses and the cross sell. And the secret is, you ready for the secret? Here it is. That's the only question you got to ask. Now, if you walk into a business or you phone up your friend and you say recruiting, what happens? Noah? You say the word recruit, what happens?
They kick you out.
Ayya, that's weird, man. What are you trying to recruit me? What if you said life insurance, Anand? Have you said life insurance to anybody yet?
Yeah, in my bond market, yeah, didn't go well. Didn't go well.
Okay. Now,
They had a
when you
very cynical.
yeah, they're cynical and they go life insurance. I don't need any of that crap. What do you, right? But if you say
Yeah.
benefits to people, hey, do you have benefits? That's a conversation starter. So I hope you took a picture of this page because I'm about to switch the screen. You ready? Okay. Sorry, I pressed the wrong arrow, of course. So the first thing I had to get right in my mind is where does this product fit for the client? And it fits right there on the left where it says paid, top left. Now, if you guys have seen the theory of decreasing responsibility, I don't have to give you a presentation on this slide, right? Ask Dimitri and Francis, they will, but it fits right here. Insurance is aid for your income. That's a great way to remember. Accident, illness, or death. If something happened to your income because of accident, illness, or death, are you protected? No. Then you might need some kind of insurance. This is a great product. Disability insurance is a great product to sell single people. So how many of you have prospected single people? They say, I got nobody married. I don't know anybody married. Are you kidding? I'm 25 years old. Well, guess what? If you are injured or you are ill and you can't work, you got to move back home, 25-year-old. Are you happy about that? And they say no. They don't want to move back home. I didn't. So that's a great product that you can one-on-one single people because some single people are at risk that way. That's a huge risk to a single person losing their freedom. Kidding me? That's a great lead-in. Okay, so that's where it fits. Now, pain management and preventative maintenance is the P. That's health and dental. You get your teeth done, you get a massage, you get physio, just so that you can stay healthy enough to work, right? So again, that's why it's there. So insurance gets you paid if you can't work for whatever reason. You're all with me? Lana, put up your hand if you're with me.
Yeah. Lana.
Lana. There she is. Okay, good. She was with me. She just wasn't sure if I said Lana. So now the core that you're going to sell to an employer is health and dental for their employees. But you're not going to sell it to the employer for the employees. You're going to sell it to the employer for them, for the employer, because they're greedy. They're going to want to buy it. And ultimately, most employers think about themselves before they think about their employees. Now, it's nice and shiny, and you say, yeah, your employees are going to need this. But first of all, the premiums are a tax write-off. Second of all, if you can get the employer to pay 100%, you'll get 100% involvement in your plan. If you go 50-50 because it's cheaper for the employer, or you let them run the show, the employer is going to say, yeah, 50-50, get the employees to pay for half. And then there's going to be one person that's not going to want the plan, and they're going to say no. So you got to get the employer to say yes to 100% for them. Now add a group RRSP because it costs them nothing to add this. Now you've got investments and insurance, and how you're going to beat all the other plans out there, right? Confusing, right? Like, Lana, it's confusing, isn't it? All these plans are, how do they all work together and blah, 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 right? Well, they're all pretty much like this, and you can add these things, but they're expensive, and their plans annually go up by double digits, where ours don't. Ours don't go up double digits every year because they're pooled nationally. Okay, that means they average your premiums over every last client they have in Canada, as opposed to the little group that you work in with 15 employees and somebody uses dental and your premiums go up by 10% or 20. Actually, I looked at a Manulife plan the other day that went up 42% year over year. 42. That's why the employer called me. Now, here's what you got that the other people don't have. Right? You've got all these bonus services, an FNA, term life, key person insurance, buy, sell insurance, mortgage referral. So you're going to try to position yourself with the employer as their business advisor and your partial human resources. You got that? And of course, that's a scary thing if you've never done it before. Right? Totally scary. How do I don't know how that works. Well, that's why you involve somebody upline who knows what's going on. Right? And then we can talk about all this stuff with confidence. All you have to do is introduce us. Now, check this out. If you're prospecting somebody hot, which means somebody that you know very well, whether they're working or owns a business, you're going to ask them the question, hey, how's benefits where you work? And they're going to say whatever. So you're going to make a list right now. Like, all of you have been here for at least a day, right? Some of you, like Anand said, he talked to his warm market, didn't go so hot, right? If you went to them all again, Anand, and you said, hey, listen, we're opening up a new niche in our business. We're adding benefits to what we do. Tell me, Joe, do you have a benefits program? Yes. How are the benefits there? I don't know. I've never looked at them. Well, can you introduce me to the payroll person or the owner? Yeah, great. Can I get a copy of your benefits? Awesome. So that's what we call a policy pickup. I mean, if you go try to get a universal life policy or a whole life policy or term policy, you pick up the policy, right? That's called a PPU. It's the exact same thing. You do the exact same thing here. You pick up their policy, which is the schedule of benefits. It's what the employee gets that says, here's what your coverage is. If it's warm, which means you know the person and they know you by face, but not necessarily by name, or you go get your car done, or you have a real estate friend or something like that. Somebody that's warm to you. They're not totally cold. You could walk into that business again and you could say, I'm here for my sandwich, because that's what I did. The little restaurant, not even 2 doors down from my office. Are you the manager? No. I go, well, you should be. You're standing at the front every day and you do a great job here. You should own this place. Well, my manager's right back here. I go, is that right? Do you have benefits here? No, I don't. Well, would you like to get information on benefits? And the employee says, I'd love that, but I don't know about my manager. I go, will you call your manager over? And she did. And guess what? They're a group plan now. And 3 of them are individual clients. Why prospect 1 when you can prospect 10 or 15? That's what I started to think. Right? It's just as hard prospecting an employer as it is an employee. There's no difference. But if you think there's a difference, there is. I don't think there's a difference. Me trying to force optimism in my life, because you got to force it in. You can't just assume that optimism is going to come into your life. There's 3 A's that you can control. Okay, in my opinion. So join the AAA club. Attendance, activity, and attitude. Attendance can breed the other 2. Okay, the attendance is the most important. So congratulations for being here, because you're getting something that the other 400 people in our hierarchy aren't getting tonight. So you pick up the policy, and I'll show you what to do with that in a sec. Okay, here's prospecting cold. So you don't know anybody. You parachuted into town with nothing. You know nobody. You could take one of these little brochures from AGF if you're mutual fund licensed. And you could put a flyer in there with your business card and a couple of brochures, because they cost me nothing. I got these from AGF. They cost me nothing. I got 50 for nothing. They just sent them to my office. I printed off those cost me a couple of bucks, but if I had a phoned Rena, she would have sent them to me. This is just faster. I print them. There's faster. So I take 10 of these and I'll go out and prospect cold. And I'll walk into a business with my little pouch and I'll say, excuse me, are you the manager here? No, well, you should be. Ha ha ha. How are the benefits here? And they'll go, what? We don't have, they'll say benefits or not. That gives you another path to take. No matter what, if they say we have benefits or they say we don't have benefits, you say, well, hey, would you like to get some information? Remember what I taught you about the benefits word? It's different than the recruiting word and the life insurance word. So is information. I sell information all freaking day long. I never sell recruiting. I never sell life insurance. I never sell investments. I sell information. So every time I ask a question or I talk about some kind of a product, I always ask at the end of that conversation, hey, Joe, would you like to get some information on that? And guess what they say every time?
Yes.
Absolutely. Lana, you can do this. Goring, piece of cake. Nashaba, we're all sitting on our hands. We're not talking to people. And so you get into this conversation. Sure, it's cold, but you can warm it up quickly if you start talking about benefits. Did you know that the benefits, Mr. or Mrs. Employer, will only cost you $1 an hour per full-time person? About 160 bucks a month for a single person under 45. So I don't say 160 bucks a month. I say $1 an hour. Language is critical. So I get the contact name, the cell phone, and the email. And guess where it goes? CRM. And when it goes in the CRM, I churn through that. Cheryl says, here's your list for today. Call these people. So easy. Your job is not to contact when you're prospecting. Your job is not to present when you're prospecting. So you're all worried about what you're going to say, so you don't go out and do it. Your only job is to go out, do you have benefits? Yes or no? Would you like to get some information? Yes or no? Great. Give me your name and number. I'll get my expert administrator to send you an email. Now you get that? Now, who on here couldn't ask those two questions? Come on, put up your hand if you're too scared to ask those two questions. In front of somebody cold. What happened was we found a way to make cold prospecting super hot. Because as soon as you walk in and start talking about benefits, man, they smile. And if they're an employee, they're motivated to get you in front of their employer now. So it doesn't matter who you talk to. You don't have to ask for the manager. You say, are you the manager? So now, here's what I hand out. Super simple. It's the small business benefits handout. And then I add a group RSP brochure. Super simple. I print it off an AGF website. Now you got to be mutual funds licensed to hand this out. Okay, but the other one, you just have to be insurance licensed. You know, I see a day where you could hire 200 people just to go business to business and make money off of insurance and not worry about the investments. They'll make a ton of money doing this. Actually, I believe you can make money faster, quicker with Edge than you can with investments. Let me rephrase that. You can make passive income quicker with Edge than you can with investments. Because anybody on this call could prospect a group a month. That's 12 groups. Now you've got 2 more than I do. Now you're the expert, right? Okay, here's the third party approach. So let's say I call Anand. Anand, play with me for a sec, okay? Open up your mic if you can. Hey, Anand.
Yes.
Jan Schwieger calling. I know we haven't talked in a while. Last time I talked to you, I tried to prospect you for Primerica. Do you remember that? And Anand's, yeah, like I'm not interested, man. Right? Well, actually, Anand, let me tell you exactly why I'm calling. I was hoping you could actually help me out. We're expanding our business in the area of group benefits and small business for the self-employed, right? Would you be open
yeah.
actually to helping me network with your realtor?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you actually have a realtor, Anand?
No.
Okay. If they're married with kids and they own a home, what do they have? They know a realtor.
Mhm.
So that's why I would
Yeah.
start here. So now put up your hand if you know 5 people that own a house.
I do.
Okay. Phone them first. Say, hey,
Okay.
can you help me? Right? That's also critical. So you can say, if you're not licensed, my branch manager is looking to network with realtors right now because realtors have it really tough. There's 25,000 realtors in BC, but I know they didn't do 25,000 sales last month. Now, can you do me a favor? Can you text them, Anand? Just text them this.
Yeah.
Hey, my financial guy Jan is looking to network with realtors. Would you be open to a call? See that little line there? Get them to text it.
Mhm.
If they text it,
Okay.
Anand, what happens? The realtor reads it.
Yep.
Now, what if the realtor says no? Realtor dumb, right? Because they just pissed off their client.
Yeah.
So you're leveraging the client just like you would in a field training situation where Anand says, hey, talk to my branch manager. It's Dimitri. He's a really good guy. Same thing.
Hmm.
Is that clear, Anand? You could do this. 5
Yes.
people. You could text them tonight while we're doing this. By the time we finish,
Okay.
let me know what kind of result you get. Okay. All
Okay.
right. Start with
Okay.
your easiest one. That's the best way to go. Okay. Now check this out. Let's say you're recruiting instead. You're not doing just sales. How's it
Okay.
going? Blah, 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 all that stuff. Friends, recreate or family, recreation, occupation, money, whatever. So, Mary, I was hoping you could help me out. We're expanding our business in the area of group benefits. Do you know anyone who has business to business experience? So you're asking for a recruit, but a specific type of person, somebody with a sales background. So you're going to use, STEAM maybe at this point, because that's the S in STEAM, sales, right? And if they stop and they're not moving, you could not just use sales, but then now you could say, what about a teacher? Do you know anybody like that? So let's say they give you somebody with, business to business experience. There's tons of these people out here that don't make any money anymore. They're basically sitting in an office. And you say, listen, Joe, my friend Jan is looking for people with B2B experience for his company. You'll be for a quick call from him or her. So look, you guys, you can't do this alone. No matter what you think, you can't sit in the dark and do this alone. You can't. You can't think Primerica into reality. That's never going to happen. You have to act Primerica into reality. Thinking comes after. The reason that people don't make money is because they think more than they act.
True.
There's no perfect script. These are great, but use them until you got a better one and then let me know. Okay, so you pick up their schedule of benefits. That's what the Manual Life one looks like. This is what the Primerica Edge Benefits one looks like. Now you can compare the two a little bit more easily than, like you've seen the employer thing on, whatever, the employee goes on the payroll website and they find this 25-page thing and they say they can't download it because whatever. Well, if you ask the payroll person, they have to give you a schedule of benefits. And you can print this off of Edge, and I picked up a bunch of these. So if you want copies of these, just email me. Right? Dimitri knows how to get a hold of me. So that's comparing the benefits with the schedule, with the actual schedule. So it's apples to apples. Then what I like to do is use a Word document that shows where I beat them in green font and where they beat me in green font. And I show it to the client. I don't give this to the client. I show this to the client and I go, which one do you want, the green or the black? Alternate choice question. They go, we like the green. Great, that's us. Right? And boom, the comparison is done. Not only do you have to beat them at the product, but you also have to beat them at the cost. Now, they might be willing to pay a little bit more if you've got the right benefits package, because a lot of the times you pay automatically for stuff that you don't need. The life insurance agents who sell this garbage, it's just like UL or Whole Life. They put a whole bunch of bells and whistles crap on it that people don't ever use and don't ever need. So we customize our plan to come in at the same price, but for better benefits. So I've already shown that I'm going to beat him on the benefits. Now I'm going to show him the cost. And after I've sent their information to Edge, they send me back this cool proposal that shows all of the benefits that they get and the total cost. And at that point, you know, if they're getting you to show up with one of these, the likelihood of them saying no to you is really low. There's a high closure rate on the amount of carrybacks that I do on this, just because it makes so much sense to the employer. Okay, now, here's some ideas. Go to these places. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, look in your own phone right now, like Anand's doing. Anand's way ahead of everybody. Now, is everybody else on here just waiting for Anand's results? Or is somebody else on here actually texting somebody they know with a house to say, hey, can you network me to your realtor? I bet you Vanden is doing it.
Actually, Jan, I used to work as a realtor's assistant when I was at the university, so I'm just texting her right now, the realtor directly.
Oh my goodness, you could hit a gold mine there. Who knows?
Mhm.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So don't wait, you guys. What I would do is act while I'm talking. I would look through my A to Z. You've got 26 opportunities. There's at least one name and number in each one of those letters. Find somebody in there that maybe owns a house, maybe owns a business, maybe is a good friend of yours, and just say, hey, can you help me? Do you know any realtors? Like, it's so easy just to see what they say. Why do you ask, Lana? Well, I ask because I'm trying to network with realtors right now. I know realtors have it tough. The interest rates are high. They can diversify their income with Primerica. They don't have to quit being a realtor. They can do a value add for their clients because we'll do an F&A for the client before they qualify for a mortgage. You can do mortgages through Primerica, blah, 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 blah. You with me? Okay, cool. These are the actual businesses that we've closed. Now, 3 of them are my downline and the rest of them are me. Okay. That one was cold. The vape was cold. Pharmacy was warm. My downline knew the person. My downline knew this person. This tattoo shop was cold. You ever think you'd get a tattoo shop for a business? Cool, man. You know how much money those guys make? They make a ton of money and they throw it away and don't do anything with it. They need you in their shop teaching them what to do with their money, even though they look rough or maybe tattooed everywhere and hair and piercings and all that. Hey, so what? They're involved in the economy too, right? My gym where I work out, a landscaper. This was a referral. This is where I eat my sandwiches. This is the business hub that I work in. This guy works in my business hub. This is a referral in Kamloops, one of my biggest daycares, from this guy, from the immigration guy. Referral. I just got a call one day. Physio clinic. Again, that was cold and pharmacy was cold. So they're everywhere. Now, let me stop here for a sec. I know it's 7 o'clock. Dimitri, what do you want me to do? I could go, I got another, you want to see the money? Or do you want me to stop here?
Let's ask the team. You guys want to
Sure.
see the money? How much money?
Money.
I love that
Keep
part.
going. Keep going. Yeah.
Show us.
Okay. So now look, an average multi-life. You're going to get a family, you're going to get a couple, and you're going to get a single. Okay. Each one of these is a life insured. So that's 6 lives insured. That is approximately 180 average. So it gives you 12,960 in credit just for that multi-life right there. Now, why is credit important? I had an RVP, Dimitri, tell me that there's no money in Edge. Think about that for a sec.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So I can prove him wrong. So why is this important? Because this is the average size that you're going to find out there. Okay, it might be 6 singles. It might be 3 couples, right? It might be the manager, the owner in the family. You see that in red? They got a couple of people on their team. It's tiny little business, 13,000 in credit. Watch this. Why should you write one of these a month? So let's say you prospected 4 Vandana and only one said yes. If they say no to Vandana, that's so dumb. Her heart is so huge. She is so committed to her people and her clients. They would be crazy not to work with Vandana. But if Vandana were to write one of these a month, she'd average 13,000 in premium a month. That's 156,000 in a year. Right now, Cheryl and I haven't written a multi-life this year, but we're already at 55,000 or something like that in premium this year. We haven't written a multi-life yet this year, and we're at 55,000. I'll show you how that worked in a sec. 150 grand from January to December, let's say, unlocks all the trips, all the bonuses. It's easy to hit, and it creates hope and excitement. Because you guys are all sitting there right now pissed that you're not making money at Primerica. Agreed? Frustrated.
Yep.
How the freaking hell does that happen in this company? Remember what I said about fear? Fear will paralyze you, man. Even fear of something that you don't even realize is like you subconsciously don't even know that the fear is stopping you right now. And when you think about it intellectually, you go, oh yeah, it's the fear, right? And you remember, you go, duh, right? Fight fear. Fear is such a waste of human potential. And that, of course, that's what fear's job is to waste your potential. But I'm not going to let that happen to anybody who gets connected with me ever. If you write 10,000, here's what you'll get. 2 Primerica trips a year. Because if you get 75,000 in the 6-month period of the contest, you're going on the trip. Do that twice, you're going on 2 trips. You hit 125,000, they'll send you to Mexico. Edge will send you to Mexico. Now, we haven't hit this one yet, and we still won 4 company trips. You'll share in what they call the VIP pool. I made 6 grand in that pool last year. 6
Nice.
grand. In February, they wrote me a $6,000 check. I was over 100,000 last year, so we split this little pool that they never talk about. No, it's nowhere on the website. They just phoned me up and said, Jan, we have another $1,500 for you. What? Each trip that we've been on, the Edge rep showed up with a prepaid $500 Visa card for Cheryl and I. That's another 2 grand in 4 trips. Primerica rep, like you can compete just as a rep. We made, I think it was $3,700 last year or 4 grand. So that was a total of about 11 grand in bonuses right there. Now, unfortunately, my team is not as productive as I want it to be. They've got stuff going on just like everybody else, and we stopped recruiting. I haven't recruited anybody in a year, you guys. And I'm not really proud to say that out loud, but that changed last month. We recruited 2 people. And it was because I wasn't feeling the greatest about myself. I had a ton of personal crap going on in my life, but I didn't let it stop us doing business. That personal stuff is not an excuse not to produce. And guess what? My team felt that. And so my team didn't do anything. They forgot why they were here, and it was because of my leadership. It had nothing to do with my team. Okay? But you could still, every 4 months, they do a contest where they say, if you close a group, we'll give you $500. All you have to do is close one. They'll give you an extra $500 4 times a year. Now, we hit that twice. Now, why is April and October in green? It's because it's what they call a shoulder month. So business that you close in October counts for the last Primerica contest and the next Primerica contest. So we were able to use 25,000 in credit last April. And those spontaneous bonuses, I told you about that. So they'll send out a flyer, and then you'll know it's going to be in October. So if I were you, I'd totally boost my prospecting between now and the end of September. And I would close as many as I can in October to get $500. What if you close 10, they'll give you $5,000. And that's what Cheryl and I are doing right now. I'm handing these out. I'm running. I'm phoning. I'm talking to all my clients again, even clients that I've already talked to. I'm phoning my other groups. Now, here, why am I phoning my other groups? That's what we made last year. This is just edge. It says 75, 62 in bonus, but they don't always put the bonus in the bonus area. Some of the quarterly bonuses go into your personal sales. Here's us at number 23 out of all of Edge in Canada. What do we make? Or where were we at? This was, that was last year. So 5,000. This is us being number 3 last year. That's another $3,000. You see that? There's two places they'll give you bonuses to do the exact same work. That's $8,000 right there. Okay, that one you don't need to see. Here's us winning Hawaii. See, if you generate 75,000 in premium, you will be number 1. We've never been number 1 on a contest yet. We've always been number 2 or number 3. And we've been number 4 twice. That pissed me off. Right? So we're going to win.
Go on a trip. Let's be clear, right? You guys are getting that, right?
Yeah, you don't go on a trip down here if you're number 4. You watch from the sidelines. But get this, Dimitri. Dallin Pollard, I think the guy's name is, was number 4 for Hawaii. I beat him by $350.
Wow.
But the company sent him anyway.
What? Amazing. You see,
Isn't that great?
Like, this is a lesson. You fight until the end, even if it's
Totally.
like everything's against you.
Totally. $350, I think we beat him by, something like that.
Wow.
So here's the convention. Now, get this. Do you see Mylene Mock at number 1? No, but she was. And it bumped us all the way down to number 10. So we got stage recognition on the floor at the convention, and we got Canadian recognition because we were number 10 or we're number 2 in income for client solutions. In client solutions, there's only one other person that made more money than me, and that was Allison Simon Wong in Richmond. So I don't think the company even gets how much money is possible here. We've only got 10 groups.
Yeah.
Okay, look at this. These are all of my groups here. And this is the product that I sold them on top of the other stuff. Okay, guess how much that's worth? I made $61,000 because of the 10 groups. Now, that's spread over a couple of years, but come on. We're at $140,000 right now for the last 12 months. We've never been that high. It's a record income this month for us.
Love it.
And it's because of this. So 60,000 cross-selling, 18,000 earns, 8,000 bonus, 1,500 group RSP. And I haven't even touched the group RSPs yet. That's like that's 100, that's a ring at RVP, and that's a watch at district.
Yeah.
And next year you start with this money here comes monthly because they pay you as earned, which means this. When the employer sends the money in for the premiums, they pay you. Okay, that month, there's no chargebacks, right? Right now, like I said, I think we're averaging around 1,600. Here's my income. You think Dimitri's like, man, I was a slow starter. Dimitri, we didn't even hit RVP for 10 years because of my ego, not because of Primerica. And as you can tell, this is 120 grand, this line right here. You know, right now we're at 140 right now. So this is up till last, you know, this is 2023. But you can see how the edge up here is growing, right? You watch, we're going to kill it. And you got to hurry because you won't be able to catch me. I have 300, we got about 420 lives covered. So annually what's coming in is around 500,000 in premium for this product right now with 10 groups. It's just bizarre. I had no idea how much this could pay. The discovery in 2023 was that staff turnover creates new premium. So let's say an employee leaves a business.
This is a big deal, guys, this part.
This is everything. This is why you want to build 30 to 40 businesses in your book, because it'll create 100 grand a year without you prospecting. Yeah, let me say that again. It'll create 100 grand a year without you prospecting.
That's right.
You want me to say that one more time?
Let's do it.
Last year, I wrote 120 grand in edge premium, but only 45 grand was new multi-plans. The rest of it was staff turnover. So they leave and right? It's not 450 lives. It's probably only about 150 lives. But because you get new credit for it, they still count it. And the employers called us. This one employer called us last month and said, hey, I've got 3 new employees for you. Boom, boom, boom. I had a group right there. I didn't have to prospect it. The employer lost 3 employees, gained 3 new ones, and we had to sign up the 3 new ones. And we got production credit for it. So incoming staff counts new, outgoing staff counts new, if they continue the benefits after they exit. You don't have to end the relationship because they left. As long as you do, your due diligence in focusing on keeping them happy and telling them how good they are and awesome, all that stuff, client service. And if the business is profitable, get this, the daycare, remember the daycare referral? He just got a loan from a silent partner and he doesn't have 1 location anymore. He now has 7 locations. Boom. Guess who who's going to call for those employees to get covered? Right? I think we cracked the code on businesses. So get this. Our averages are this. This is the most important slide in the whole presentation. 4 businesses, we get 1 new employee a month. And when we hit 40 businesses, there's going to be about 10 new employees per month without us doing anything. They're just going to call us. And 10 new employees equals 1 month multi-life, doesn't it? And that's going to pay us $8,000 a month in residual alone. So our investments pay us about $8,000 a month right now without, calculating growth. So we're going to be at 16 grand by the end of next year. Cause I think with my knowledge now and my experience, I could probably close 30 businesses in the next 6 months. Now I got to hurry, cause like I said, my head just wasn't in it. Now my head's sort of back into it. That's the crappy thing about stopping. You don't stop because your brain stops no matter how long you've been here. And then you got to start again. That's the hardest part. So we started again. And of course, handing out all these little goodies for everybody. There's some group RSP numbers that you don't necessarily need. Not right now. And this was my passive income projection. This is what I need in the yellow line to live. And I added inflation to it. I was 53 when I started it. Right now we're averaging close to 11,800 and I'm 61. So I'm a year ahead of this number here where I thought these two were going to converge and I wouldn't have to worry about it. Money would just come in. I wouldn't have to, passive income, but we're actually, at 11,000 right now on average. That's crazy. We're like way up here already. And the company, all they're looking for is ways to pay us more money because we're RVPs. So if you could teach 3 people how to prospect businesses, you're done. You could get these people to RVP because there's enough premium, enough income, enough experience, enough consistent activity for people to win here. They don't have to learn how a mutual fund works. They just have to ask what 2 questions, Lana?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Which 2 questions do you have to learn to run the edge? To win at this? First one is, do you have benefits here? Second one is, would you like to get information? So if you memorize those 2 questions, when you're out and you're in shopping or whatever, and somebody says, how's life at Costco? Great. How's the benefits? Not Costco because they're a huge company. I wouldn't do that. But I would if I was, at a physio place or something like that. Do you guys have benefits? If I was at my mechanics, for sure, because it's one employer, a small employer with 4 or 5 people working there. Perfect. Right? Those kind of places, for sure. Your hair salon, they're self-employed. They might be looking for disability coverage because if they're sick or injured, they're going to need some type of insurance. Right? They don't want to close their shop. Anyway, okay, now
I love this.
nice, Dimitri. That's it for me. Unless you guys got
No, I
questions.
gotta tell you, what I love about this is that you just showed a one line of business that generates more business, but most importantly, gives you a certainty of income coming and a guarantee of new client appointments that Brad always talks about.
Yeah.
Because there's a turnover and the company is so great that we get these new clients as new credit, new income and everything. It's ridiculously amazing how great the setup is. And if I just
Well,
told you
we have 10
minutes,
groups, right?
and I
We have
put
10
groups. Yeah,
and we get 4 new employees a month.
yeah.
You
That's
get to 20 or 30, you'll have,
That's a client a week,
yeah.
right? And you do everything else right, you implement everything else. I love that. I love that.
Okay, Goring,
Answer
got a
question?
question?
Couple of questions?
Yes, I actually was able to get the answers. One of my teammates posted that screenshot of the composition of the accounts that you've sold to
Right.
earn you that 61 grand. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Like, put up your hand if you wish you earned 61 grand in the last 3 years. Like, come on. This is so easy. I thought Primerica was easy. This is easy.
Well,
Jessica, you have a
and
question?
it's easy because you mastered something and you overcame something, right? And that's the thing that we
Right.
got to remember. You started the whole call with, we're going to give you some tools and things you can say so that it's easy. So the prospecting is easy. The questions are simple.
So Dimitri asked me to say who I was and where I was from. Save On Foods, 15 years, retail.
I love Save On.
Guy walks into the store, reads my name tag, goes out to the payphone, drops a quarter in because he can't afford a pager or a cell phone, phones me at the service desk and says, hey, we're looking for some great people. I like your service up there. That still works, by the way. You can do that and find a guy like me. They're
Wow.
out there. I was 40,000 in credit card debt, you guys. 40,000. I knew nothing about the edge. I knew nothing about benefits. I'd stack my bills up. Are you kidding?
Wow. Okay.
Just got to learn.
Jessica, last question. Unmute.
Okay, it has to do more with with our warm circle. So if I go back and I take everyone off my CRM and start calling them,
Yep.
I'm
Why
gonna
not?
first start with, hey, how are you? You know, just a little talking for a while. Would
Yep.
I say, do you have any medical benefits?
Yeah. So when you look at the word form, that's an acronym for Family Occupation Recreation Money. And the company teaches us that. So you're aligned with the company. You're going to phone a person and you're going to say, hey, how's work going? That's my question. That's the occupation question. And they're going to say something, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, well, why don't you take a day off? Like, do they have benefits there or what? That's it. Really casual. And then they go, yeah, I think we have benefit. They don't even know. And then you go, well, listen, would you like to know what your benefits can do for you? Maybe I can help you with that. You help me, I help you, but I don't know how you're going to finish that conversation. But the point of that conversation is not to talk about benefits. Got that, Jessica? The point of the conversation is to get them to say yes to an NCA, a new client appointment. The point of the conversation is to say, listen, would you like to meet with me and my benefits specialist? Who knows? Maybe we can help you out. 15-minute Zoom. How's it going to hurt you? Like, I see some, like Anand. Hold on. Let's get back to him. Anand, tell me,
Yep.
how did that go?
Yeah,
Any results yet?
No, not from the SMSs that I sent. No, not yet.
Okay. It'll come. In the next 24
Yeah.
hours, he'll get something. And
Mhm.
Dimitri's going to call me when something happens. And then I'll tell you
Okay.
exactly what to say back to them. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
That's the other thing, just so you know, and what I do in my base shop, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes, I do not let
Mhm.
anybody talk. Why would you
Oh,
let
that's a good
somebody
thing for
brand
me.
new verbal,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
right?
screw it up.
So, people get excited and they love their people and they phone them up. Guess what I did? I joined a door-to-door insurance sales pyramid. You got to get one of these. It's amazing. They just do crazy things, right? It's like, shh, text, one line. Let the client respond. Then right? And then you build on that conversation. There's no magic conversation. There's no such thing as a magical line. But do you have benefits here? It's pretty close to Disneyland, if you know what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah.
I think all of you guys could hammer this. And if any one of
Mhm.
you picks this up, I better start running because it's so easy. Once you realize how easy it is, you're going to get super motivated. You're going to get excited like me. 1,500 a month.
I love it.
28 grand last year, 61 grand over 3 years. What? I haven't even done anything yet. Kidding? You can
Well,
do this.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna have Jen back because we want to apply all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What Jen doesn't fully know is that we are on this verge of going for 100 days of greatness and do something great before the year ends. And we want every tool that is available, tested, proven, and works that we apply. And we're going to be watching. Some of you guys will take this tool right now and you're going to cause some results this week. And some of us will, some won't. Every week we want to introduce another tool, but this is critical because it's pure residual. It works, it's been proven, right? Jen, I can't thank you enough for sharing. This was great. Appreciate it. Obviously, I took some screenshots and I'm going to use that.
I've got like 100 other slides, so I can explain this left, right, up, down now. But I remember I started with one question.
Yes.
Let me tell you how I started, and then I'll let you guys go. My mom needed pharmaceuticals. We walked into a pharmacy once a month to get her medicine. And the woman asked me after the third trip, she said, so what kind of work do you do, Jan? And I had just been to an Edge seminar, knew nothing about it, zero. And I said, oh, I do small benefits, businesses, things. And she goes, really? My husband wants to talk to you about benefits. Right there. And then the Rena, it wasn't Rena then, it was Scott. He field trained me. So he talked about the benefits so I didn't have to. And then he said, you should give all your other business to Jan because he's an expert in those other areas. And the guy gave me a box. 2 accountants, working with 2 banks, 0 life insurance. 2 kids, 2, businesses, no life insurance. But anyway, I made 25 grand with that one guy.
That's amazing.
First client. If you don't want to go talk to people, don't go talk to people then. I'll just make all the money and I don't know.
No, we got to take this over, you guys. Now, there's enough business for everybody. That's what we'd like to say. But here's the thing. If you don't talk to them, someone else will talk to them. So let's go create this. Let's go use this. This is how
Absolutely.
we pay Jan for the time that he spent with us. We need to let him go so he can go and spend quality time with his wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's important. Jan, thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Thanks for being here. If you have other things that you would like to ask one day, send them to us. We will field it. And remember, Jan is one of the guys that's on Saturday training. He's not some stranger that's far away that you can't reach, right? He's just like one of us. The only difference is he's done it. He made it work for himself. And there are people that are doubting. Did you hear what he said? Doubting that you can make any money. And
RVPs.
he's laughing all the way to the bank with his residual, and he keeps building on top of it. All right.
Client solutions on Wednesday too, Dimitri. Right? Kurt asked me to do this on Wednesday at the client solutions thing. So I don't even know what time it is, but look it up on POL.
Yeah, no,
So I'll be doing this again.
We'll let people know. Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thanks everybody. Thanks, Chan. You guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Jan.
We'll be
See you
back.
again
sharing
soon.
your knowledge.
And then hold it. Here's my number: 604
Okay. Hold on.
306
Yeah.
3069.
306-3069. Okay.
Text me if you have an edge issue and you can't get a
Yeah.
hold of Dimitri. But test
Okay.
Dimitri
Mhm.
first.
Love it.
Okay. Will do.
Okay, guys.
Let's rock.
Love
it,
you all. I'll
guys.
talk to you later, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Excellent.
Happy anniversary.